Hi Paul.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you. It's nice to be in Amsterdam on a sunny day.
Okay, an easy question to begin with, I think. Do you remember the first record that you bought?
Kind of, because I bought records after this record, but it's the one that I remember. I asked for it as a Christmas present, and it was George Michael's "Listen Without Prejudice" Volume 1, and there never was a Volume 2. But that was my favourite record for ages because I loved the singles, and I asked my mum to get it for me for Christmas. I don't usually tell people, but I got 2 CDs, and the other one was Precious Metal, 18 soft rock hits, which had stuff by Mr. Mister and things like that, Broken Wings, and I used to love soft rock when I was a child.
Okay, do you know why? 'Cause, you like the George Michael because well, you're a big fan, but do you know why the soft rock?
I love melody, and the first music that I really loved was the Beatles love songs. My parents had that in a car, and we would go on long journeys and listen to the Beatles love songs, and I loved harmonies and things like that, but I also liked guitars and guitar solos, so these they were very melodic, you know, something like Broken Wings by Mr. Mister is just like, everything's soft, and yet it's kind of rocking at the same time. Obviously, a lot of that record is not very good, but there are still songs on it that I still like them, and I still think they're kind of good songs. They're not cool at all. But the George Michael stuff, again, it's like harmony and a really strong sort of voice, very very poppy, really, I suppose, but with deeper things going on. I loved kind of romance, and I suppose one of the reasons I got into soft rock when I was like, you know, sort of 7 or 8, it was just everywhere on the TV, you know, Bon Jovi doing "Living on a Prayer" and stuff like that. So, you know, they're now these days they're kind of karaoke favourites, and they're a bit, you know, tongue-in-cheek because it's just the land of big hair and you know, silly clothes and stuff, but yeah, I think it's probably that kind of the romanticism. You know, I loved Heart when they did Alone and These Dreams. They were my favourite songs, and I would think about the girls in my class and think about them when I was listening to the songs and feel heartbroken, even though I was just a young kid. So it's no wonder that Maximo Park's music is emotional, because I was an emotional child before I even got into music properly.
Well, when did you get into music properly? Because did you sing along, like you mentioned karaoke, did you sing along back then to the songs?
Oh, I sang along to everything, you know, and I'd sing along to the guitar solos. It was just anything that I could sing along to, I would sing along to, but I didn't really think, oh, I've got a good voice or anything like that. I was in the choir at school, and the choir master wanted us to go somewhere and perform in front of people, and I was too scared to go, so they threw me out of the choir. Even though, because I sang solo in front of the assembly, and I was really nervous. And people came up to me and said, "Oh, you've got a really nice voice," but I was too nervous to do it again, and so that was that. And then my voice broke, and I was just a normal sort of teenage boy, kind of writing bad poetry in his diary or whatever, but not thinking about music too much. You know, I used to play the guitar and whatever. But yeah, it's strange to think of that now, because I just thought I could sing in tune, but I didn't think it was a very nice sound, and some people may still agree with that summary.
Well, when did you get the confidence, well, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but when did you get the confidence in yourself that you did have a good voice?
Well, I suppose it was, I was up to the age of like 23 or something like that. I didn't think I could sing, and I'd finished university, and the story of our band is kind of me being approached by Tom out of our band because his girlfriend had heard me singing in a nightclub just underneath the speakers, so I didn't think anybody could hear me. I was just singing along to stuff like Stevie Wonder and kind of soul stuff, and his girlfriend had said, "Paul can sing," you know, and I didn't think about it too much. And I was performing with a group, my group called Me and the Twins, which was me and 2 identical twins, and we introduced a drummer, but we would play instrumental music, and I would sort of rock out a bit in the heavier moments and kick my feet in the air, and I would be wearing a sort of quite smart clothes and suits. And yeah, they approached me and said, do you want to sing? And I think I'd got to the stage in my life where I was willing to give anything a try, because I was working in a call centre. You know, I hadn't found a good job after university, you know. So I was just living day to day, and I wanted something extra to do. And I think if I'd have had a different kind of turn in life, I might not have started singing. And I suppose another reason is I'd sang at a party a couple of weeks before Tom asked me, and I'd sang. This is slightly embarrassing. I'd sang Enrique Iglesias' "Hero," because when we were in the nightclubs or whatever, you know, going out for a few drinks, me and this other group of friends, we would sort of just walk home instead of getting a taxi, because we couldn't afford taxis. And sometimes I would sing in the street, just sort of imitating Enrique Iglesias. So I was just sort of belting out, "I can be a hero, baby," you know, just stupid, just having a laugh. And at this party, this 21st party, there was a band there performing all the hits of the day, and they said, "Can anyone play the guitar?" And everyone went, "Paul can play the guitar." And so I went, "Oh," and they said, "Do you want to sing a song?" And I said, "I can't sing." And everybody said, "You sing Hero in the street," when we were all drunk. And I said, "I can't do that." But because I'd had a few drinks and everybody was egging me on, it was just a private party. Sure enough, I got the guitar, worked out the chords really quickly, and did a verse and a chorus of it, and then walked off, and everybody joined in, and it was just a really funny night. And the people in the band who were, you know, professional people who played at parties and whatever, they were like, "You've got a great voice." They didn't mention my guitar playing, but they did say, you know, you've got a strong voice. You should do more singing. And I was thinking, what are these guys talking about? You know, it was just a joke to me. So when Tom asked me a few weeks later, it's like the stars aligned. You know, all these kind of these different incidents gave me a bit more confidence. I was thinking, well, if they want me to join, that's pretty good. That's a good start. If Tom's girlfriend, now his wife, Leonie, had said, you know, that I could sing, then that's another person who I would have never thought would because she's a singer as well. Okay. And I thought, wow, you know, people seem to think I can sing, so let's give it a go. So that kind of confidence comes out of a number of different things. But before then, I'd just, you know, I hadn't really considered it. I'd taped myself singing some of my songs a few times, and I didn't think it was very good. Didn't like the sound of my own voice, like none of us do when you listen to it back.
Have you grown in that respect that you like it now?
I do. I think I've still got the capability to sing and then think, "Oh, that sounds awful." But yeah, I've kind of got used to it, and I was recording on tapes and stuff, and now I can kind of record on, you know, on your computer and stuff, and you can hear it back. Put a bit of reverb on it, which helps me. And yeah, you grow into your voice, and you kind of, the more you hear something as an outside thing, the more you think, okay, it's like talking to you now. I can hear myself talking, and I feel slightly embarrassed by my voice, because I don't think it's particularly nice to listen to, but nobody else seems to mind, so you just get over that kind of, that shyness.
Well, maybe that's that natural thing. I think everybody has it when they hear their voice played back. But yeah, as a musician, I assume that can be quite troubling at times.
Yeah, well, when we were first starting out, I was just like, this is not right. It doesn't sound like what I think it sounds like. And I don't think, you know, I think you get better as time goes on as well. By the time our first album came around, I think I was a better singer than when I started with the band. And I listened to our first record the other day because I had to write all of the lyrics out for our website, because we've compiled all the lyrics on there. And so I listened to all of our records in a row, just checking the spelling and making sure everything was right. And my voice is totally different to then. It's really high then, and obviously it's like 8 years or something since we recorded that. So things will change as you get older. But I think you kind of feel more confident about your voice. I would have never tried anything like, you know, the lead vocal on Brain Cells, which we've got out at the moment, or Leave This Island. You know, they're in a different space, entirely in terms of vocal range, and they're more sensitive to the song, whereas before it was more just, I didn't know how to sing, so I just did it. And now I still don't know how to sing, but I know my own voice a bit more, and so it sounds better, I think.